Hey, good morning. It's January 1st, 2021. We made it. The Lord brought us through that far. 2020 is gone, but as we've been saying, 2020 was God's normal. It wasn't our normal, but it was His, to remind us of His greatness and power. And I was trying to think of what is the best way to begin 2021, and I was thinking about the promises of God, which are always a great place to start. And then I have good friends who live off the St. Johns River in Florida. And the mom sent this breathtakingly beautiful picture of a rainbow in the clouds. And when I saw that, I realized that was the promise that I wanted to talk with you all about. Because the rainbow is something that, again, our culture has turned around to mean something quite different than what it originally meant. The rainbow is a sign of the power of God, holding back His fierce judgment. It celebrates light, which was the first thing that God created, but it celebrates the full spectrum of the beauty, wonder, and awe of the light of God. We can't even begin to combine the colors that rainbow represents. But let's remember the original context for the rainbow. The original context is that God He's speaking to Noah after bringing them safely through the floodwaters. And He's telling Noah, I'm going to put this bow of mine, this rainbow of mine in the sky to remind me that I will never do this again. Because those clouds represent the fury of God and bringing the judgment of God and the deluge and the flood and the water to wipe out the evilness of man. And make no mistake about it, as a race of humans, a race of men, we are no better today than it was in Noah's time. The stench of evil and wickedness still rises to the nostrils of God. But what we have is the promise of Christ, the redemptive work of Christ. And God has made a covenant commitment to that. So His fierce anger will be held back until all that work is done. And then the heavens and the earth will be torn up, gone, burned. And a new heavens and a new earth will take their place. But that won't happen until God's finished saving the people that He wants to save, to create His purpose in redemptive history. And to let us know that He's committed to that, He tells Noah, and then by definition us, why that rainbow is present. Listen to what God says to Noah. And God said, "This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I set my rainbow in the clouds," which is why I love this picture, because it's right in the middle of the clouds. "I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth." The earth needs comforting too, as we read. There's something amazing about the creation, and we see this personified in places like Psalm 98 and Romans 8. "Whenever I bring clouds over the earth, and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all of life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on the earth." Wow. That rainbow is our security that God will bring life to its completion, that He will bring His purposes, that He will save those whom He wants to save, and He will bring us through to carry out His purposes, to do what He's wanted. The rainbow represents all that. It's hope, it's peace, it's courage, but it's also a representation of restraint and peace and hope. Because we deserve, again, those clouds to burst forth, as Job 37 says, and bring huge destruction. But God's rainbow says He's withholding it. So just as you see the rainbow in these clouds, restraining the clouds of God, the power of God, let us rejoice in this time, in this year of 2021 of hope, that we can do what God has called us to do. And that we can ask nothing more. And that's a beautiful way to start 2021. You can love your family. You can be compassionate. You don't have to be overcome with worry and fear. The governments aren't going to mess everything up to the point where God's purposes are thwarted. You can rest this night in peace, knowing that the hand of God is there protecting you. And he's given us this beautiful, beautiful vision of this rainbow, this covenant sign, to let us know that he is with us and he will keep his promise. What a great way to start 2021. And Lord willing, we'll be back tonight. You all have a great evening, a great day. Bye-bye.